Hi guys, my name is Trinity, and if you're here to see me haul some books. Yay! So I have a little bit of a confession to make with this book haul, and it's gonna be big. It's gonna be big. Lately, with the economy being what it is and everything, I have neglected to purchase new release books or even recent release books and stuff like that, and kind of have been sticking to what is offered to me via Hachette Audio or NetGalley, or however I go about doing that. And my husband the other day gave me some money and said, "Here, use this for what you want." And I did. As you guys know, I do have a little bit of an obsession with makeup, but I have a lot of it. And I do have a slight obsession with clothing, but I own a lot of it. The one thing you can never have enough of is books. And so I spend all of that money on books, all of it. So let's talk about the books I got, and I'm going to be pulling them out of the bag that I bought today, and then another stack that I have from the other day. Okay, first we have A Promise of Fire by Amanda Bouchette. Now, this is a fantasy romance that I have heard so many people talk about, especially lovers of fantasy romance, and they say that this is one of the best ones out there, that this has a great blend of fantasy and romance, even more so than From Blood and Ash, the one that's talked about most often. So I'm very excited to start this series. I have been in the mood for a little bit of romance lately, so you guys have seen me haul a few. Now, I know I said I was also getting away from YA. However, I have loved the first two books that Margaret Rogerson has written, and this is Vespertine, and I got it half off. And so I wanted to give this a try. I've heard really good things about it. It says, the spirits of the dead do not rest. Artemisia is training to be a Grey Sister, a nun who cleanses the bodies of the deceased so their souls can pass on. Otherwise, they will rise as ravenous, hungry spirits. She would rather deal with the dead than the living, who whisper about her scarred hands and troubled past. When her convent is attacked by possessed soldiers, Artemisia defends it by awakening an ancient spirit bound to a saint's relic. It is a revenant, a malevolent being that threatens to possess her the moment she drops her guard. Wielding its extraordinary power almost consumes her, but death has come, and only a Vespertine, a priestess trained to wield a high relic, has any chance of stopping it. With all knowledge of Vespertine's loss to time, Artemisia turns to the last remaining expert for help, the revenant itself. That sounds like it's going to be so cool. And like I said, I have read the other two books by Margaret Rogerson and have really enjoyed them. I really enjoy her writing. I like her characters. Her plots are always really good. And so I thought, why not? A book that gets recommended to me all the time would be The Maleficent Seven. Coarse, crude, bloody, brutal, and utterly over the top, a go big or go home delight. That's pretty much what I've heard about this book. And it's like fantasy Suicide Squad, from what I understand. Like, that's what we're dealing with here. And I'm looking forward to that quite a bit. Also, that's all I need to know, really. And it has had absolutely excellent reviews. All right, a book that I have owned for quite some time on Audible, but haven't picked up a physical copy of it yet. And I've heard a couple people talk about this lately. That would be Savage Legion by Matt Wallace. They call them savages, brutal, efficient, expendable. The Empire relies on them, the greatest weapons they ever developed, culled from the streets of their cities. They take the ones no one will miss and throw them by the thousands at the Empire's enemies. If they live, they fight again. If they die, well, there's always more. Evie is not a savage. She's a warrior with a mission to find the man she once loved, who holds the key to exposing the secret of the Savage Legion and the endless mass conscription of the Empire's poor and wretched. But to locate him, she must become one of them, to be marked in her blood, to fight in their wars, and to find her purpose. Evie will die a savage if she has to, but not before showing the world who she really is and what the Savage Legion can really do. It sounds wonderful. It sounds wonderful. I definitely need to pick this up at least in January and get it started, because this is a series. I'm not sure what the next one is, but this does say book 1. So I'm very much looking forward to it. So last year, my friend Andrew bought me All the Murmuring Bones. Took me a second. And I adored it. Absolutely loved it. So when I found out that A.J. Slater had a new book, The Path of Thorns, I knew I was going to pick this up. I read All the Remembering Bones last year, loved it. See no reason not to continue with this author. Okay, I'm going to fully admit to a cover buy for this book and the fact that it was 40% off. That would be The Light of the Midnight Stars. Deep in the Hungarian woods, the sacred magic of King Solomon lives on in his descendants. Gathering under the midnight stars, they perform small miracles, and none are more gifted than the great Rabbi Isaac and his 3 daughters. Hannah, bookish and calm, can coax plants to grow even when the weather is bitterly cold. Sarah, defiant and strong, can control the impulsive nature of fire. And Lavanna, the Fey One, can read the path of the stars and decipher their secrets. But darkness is creeping across Europe, threatening the lives of every Jewish person in every village. Each sister will have to make an impossible choice to survive and change the fate of their family forever. Folkloric magic? Yes, please. I'm always down for some folklore. And I'm always down for some magical realism that takes a spooky edge. So this sounds like it's going to be so good. Like I said, it was a cover buy, but I did read the synopsis before I actually purchased it. Okay, and the last book I purchased today would be Kagan the Damned. Kagan, I'm not sure. But it's by Jonathan Mayberry. And I fell in love with Jonathan Mayberry's Rotten Ruin series a long time ago. And I've seen everybody reading it and I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to read this. And then it totally slips my mind. And I'm like, how did I forget about that book? How did I forget about that book? But this says, sworn by oath, Kagan Vale is the trusted and feared captain of the palace guard charged with protecting the royal children of the Silver Empire. But one night, Kagan is drugged and the entire imperial family is killed, leaving the empire in ruins. Abandoned by the gods, fueled by rage, kings and gods will fear him. And so I think this is going to be completely up my alley. I love a vengeance story. You guys know that. And so definitely looking forward to this one. All right, and my sister knows how much I used to love the Black Dagger Brotherhood. And so when she saw these, she purchased them for me, and I am excited to get back into it. Like I said, I've really been in the mood for some fantasy romance, and the Black Dagger Brotherhood usually follows one of the people in the Brotherhood who falls for a human female, and I have a hard time remembering if they're gods or angels or fae. I don't remember, but this is called the Prisoner Camp series, so I don't know what to expect. But yeah, I'm excited to get back into them. All right, and if you guys follow my Tango, you might have seen something very odd happen. I sold my copies of Promise of Blood and the Crimson Campaign, the Powder Mage. That is because I had them in very different hardback sizes, and so I found the paperback copies at Books A Million, and I was like, okay, I'll buy these. They match. They are gonna look better on my shelves than these weirdly stacked hardbacks. So I purchased the whole series. That way I could have them on my shelves and they wouldn't look so jank. Sorry if we skipped, jumped, or something because my memory on my phone got full and it was like, nope, we're not recording anymore. So I believe I left off talking about Dust. I got this for $4, so that's why I bought book number 3, even though I only own book number 1. So yes, again, I am missing book 2, which is standard for me, right? But this is the Silo trilogy by Hugh Howey. I've heard from quite a few people that I'm going to like this. I've heard from a couple of others who are like, I don't know. But for $4, I couldn't pass it up, so went ahead and purchased it. And then for a book that has been on my TBR for quite some time, I got Magic for Liars by Sarah Gailey. This sounds like it's going to be really fun, and it says, Ivy Gamble was born without magic and never wanted it. Ivy Gamble has an almost sustainable career as a private investigator, an empty apartment, and a slight drinking problem. Ivy Gamble doesn't in any way wish she was like Tabitha, her estranged, magically gifted twin sister. Ivy Gamble is a liar. On the back, it says, a brilliant whodunit in the vein of The Magicians. Superb debut. So this is Sarah Gailey's debut novel. I did not know that, but I'm very excited to get into it. Normally, I don't like these covers that are short, but this one has a really cool design on the other side, so I kind of dig that. But this has been on my TBR for a long time, ever since it released. So that's, let's see. 2019. Has to have been 2019 because I'm seeing all of these lists that it made. But yeah, definitely looking forward to that. Okay. So Leanne's library, whatever. I think it's Leanna. She is forever talking about these books, and she has talked me into them. We don't always agree on books, but I think it's fair to say that I'm not certain what her tastes are. There are some that I'm like, oh, you liked that? You'll love this. And then she's like, no, I don't. And then things that I've hated, she's loved. Anyway, I got The Wolf and the Spider by Leo Carew. And I think I'm going to like these. I really love Norse mythology. I love the Viking history and stuff like that. And so whichever way this tends to go, I'm probably going to enjoy it. I have a lot of Norse books that I've kind of left sitting on my shelves unread because I had a huge burnout with Norse-Vember last year. And so the Norse books I kind of went into a shame pile of books I haven't read yet. But we're going to add a couple to the pile with The Wolf and the Spider. I know the third book of this series just released, and I didn't see it at the bookstore, but I probably, since I own these two in paperback, will likely wait till the paperback comes out anyway. And I won a Twitter giveaway by Chris Panettiere, and if you have not read anything by him, let me just say, I call him Chris of the Neon Books. So The Phlebotomist has been on my TBR for a little while, and that is this bright book here. But I won Stringers. So this is why I call him Chris of the Neon Books, because this is The Phlebotomist, this is Stringers, this is the one I won. This sounds like it's going to be great. I'm so looking forward to both of these. In fact, January rolls around, I might be picking up these. I mean, I think I have my January TBR pretty much down, because between what I have not been able to read due to SPSFC and, you know, what I have purchased recently, what I've won, things that friends have asked me to read, I think my January TBR is pretty set. But this one says, knowledge can get you killed, especially if you have no idea what it means. Ben is not a genius, but he can spout facts about animals and wristwatches with the best of experts. He just can't explain how he knows any of it. He also knows about the chime. What it is or why it's important he couldn't say, but this knowledge is about to get him in a whole heap of trouble. After he and his best friend Patton are abducted by a trash-talking, flesh-construct alien bounty hunter, Ben finds out just how much he's worth and how dangerous he can be. Hopefully Patton and a stubborn jar of pickles will be enough to help him through, because being able to describe the mating habits of Brazilian bark lice isn't going to save him. Okay, I'm already laughing, so there we go. Sounds like a winner to me. Okay, so as you guys know, I have canceled my OwlCrate, but I did receive one other OwlCrate, and my Fairy Loot still is not here, guys. It's still not here. I don't know what's happening. But you know, it wouldn't be the first time that Fairy Loot has sent me both my previous month and my current month at the same time. It's happened before. But OwlCrate, The Whispering Dark by Kelly Andrew. I don't like this cover. I think this is the first time we've gotten an OwlCrate book that I preferred the original cover. No, we got The Drowned Woods. And while I still really like the cover we received, I really loved the navy cover of the original. And the OwlCrate cover was like a cream white. But The Whispering Dark, Kelly Andrew, yeah, I just not impressed with this cover. And it says, he was a paper moth in the dark and she was a light. This, oh, here we go. There's the original cover. Really, really like it. Now I'm going to fully admit to knowing nothing about this, except I know that the author is deaf and has been since she was 4. And I think this has something to do with the main character being deaf as well. I don't remember. Don't quote me on that, please. Delaney always talked to the dark. She never expected it to talk back. Yep. Delaney is tired of being seen as fragile just because she's deaf. So when she's accepted into a prestigious program that trains students to slip between parallel worlds, she's excited for the chance to prove herself. But her semester gets off to a rocky start as she faces professors who won't accommodate her disability and a pretentious upperclassman fascinated by Delaney's unusual talents. Colton died when he was 9 years old. He woke several weeks later at the feet of a green-eyed little girl. Now, 12 years later, Delaney has stumbled back into his orbit, but Colton's been ordered to keep far away from the new girl and the voices she hears calling her from the shadows. Yes, okay, so I was right about the character being deaf. I don't know why this book never really hit my radar, but it didn't. And am I looking forward to it? Maybe. I don't like this cover though, so I hate to say that I'm a sucker for a nice cover and this just isn't it. I'll probably still read it though. I actually like the back side of it a lot more. Or, you know, I might just do the inside cover art there because that's gorgeous. That is gorgeous. And here we go with the foiling on both sides. Very cool, very cool. But like I said, this is my last OwlCrate book that I will be receiving for now. I don't know if I'll go back to OwlCrate or if I'll start FairyLoot or you know, the YA FairyLoot, or if I will just quit with YA unless it strikes my fancy. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Oh, my sister also got me another book. However, it is the second book in a series. It's called Wild Savage Stars. I've never heard of this, but it does sound up my alley. It says Save the Kingdom or Save Yourself. But because I did find out that it was book 2 in a series, I'm going to look for book 1. It's called Sweet Black Waves. And it's blurbed by Vic James. And I think this is fantasy romance. So I'm willing to give it a shot. And like I said, my sister purchased this for me. But I have to find book 1. I haven't been able to find book 1 yet. So we'll see. We'll see. So the next 3 was a different trip. And it was to the Buy Sell Trade. And I purchased another Sebastian de Castile book. Even though I read Traitor's Blade and was not all that impressed, I'm going for a different series with Spellslinger. I love this cover. I love all of these covers so much. Like I almost just want to own them for the cover. But yeah, just because Traitor's Blade didn't work out, there were elements of it that I liked enough that I'm willing to read something else. And this just says magic is a con game. And I got it for $6. So I don't feel guilty in owning something that I didn't quite enjoy my first experience with the author. But it says, Kellen is moments away from facing his first mage's duel at the start of 4 trials that will make him a spellcaster. There's just one problem. His magic is gone. So yeah, I think this will be a lot more up my alley than Traitor's Blade. All right, next we have The Vanished Birds by Simon Jimenez. Now, I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I read kind of across the board. And this is something that has been touted as literary sci-fi. But this is the quote on the back that kind of got me. This extraordinary science fiction epic, which delves deep into perils of failing to learn from one's mistakes, is perfect for fans of big ideas and intimate reflections. So I love literary works. You guys might not know this because since I have started BookTube, I don't read very many of them. And when I do, I have a tendency not to like them. But I think it's just me trying to read more popular books, and I should have known that they weren't for me, but I wasn't really FOMO. Let's just say that. FOMO got me. But this one actually sounded really, really good. Okay, and confession. I have been getting into more mystery thrillers lately. It has never been big on my list of things that I enjoy, but I'm finding that I really like the pacing. I'm finding that I really like stakes. I like big stakes. And then everyone started talking about this one, and I know it leans on the cozy side, but it's just so intriguing. I decided to pick it up anyway, and that would be The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman. It says A Little Beacon of Pleasure by Kate Atkinson. I have no idea how to explain my reasoning of why I picked up this book other than maybe a little bit of FOMO, but I really want a cozy something to work out for me to actually enjoy it. And maybe thriller is the way to do that. I don't know. I have tried Becky Chambers. I read The Forever Sea. I I don't really want to read Legends and Lattes, but I've thought about it. Like just something cozy. I want it to work for me. So maybe let's do thriller or mystery and see if cozy mystery works for me. I don't know. We'll see. All right, that is it for my video today. Like, subscribe, do all the fun things, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.